So I don't know. Did you see the video of Ari Fletcher? Now
Yes.
she always engages. If you guys know Ari Fletcher, she is a influencer. She's known to be with have a child with G Herbo,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
and
how I found out about her and
that's
G
how she
Herbo.
first
Yeah.
entered the scene, and then she kind of just took off like a rocket after that. You know, she's
Yes.
been affiliated with Money with Bag Yo as well, but she's an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And so now, to your point, it doesn't seem like everything is going well. So Ari Fletcher is urging her fans to hit pause on supporting her cosmetics line. Taken to
Yes.
IG, Ari warned her millions of followers do not shop or buy anything from, I think the brand is called Remedy. Am I
Yes.
saying it
So
right?
she started that brand Remedy probably about a year later, or
Oh,
6 months, whatever, after she got dropped from Fenty. So she had a
okay.
big collaboration and partnership. This is when Fenty was hot
Mhm.
and had everybody promoting their
Yes,
brand.
everybody was an
Everybody was
ambassador.
ambassador, and she said something, joked about domestic violence, and Rihanna don't play that. Rihanna was a victim of
Yeah.
domestic violence, so she lost her partnership. And Ari talked about this publicly, so this is not like
Okay.
breaking news, right?
Okay.
She was speaking at InvestFest, and she talked about this, and she realized like I was getting paid, and she said she was getting paid like 10 grand a month or something, so one hundred
Wow.
twenty thousand a year just to
Just to,
post and be
yeah.
herself doing the makeup and the lingerie, whatever she was promoting. So she realized that I have power. So she wanted to start her own brand. So she started Remedy. Obviously, is doing well, and she's an entrepreneur, but she's not a. She didn't go to business school. She
Yeah.
didn't. So she probably needed some type of help. So she got
Yes.
a business manager,
Mhm.
and everything was going well until it's not going well. So apparently she said her ex manager has locked her out of all of her business accounts, including the finances, like her Shopify account. She even said her Twitch, her
Wow.
YouTube. And
Yeah.
anybody who knows YouTube and knows these accounts, like there's money being made on these
Mhm.
accounts. And you can switch the banks and all of that. So, like, I don't know what's really going on with her and her manager, but she's urging people to not even spend their money because she's basically saying, you're probably not even going to get the product. I'm not responsible for that. I've been locked out. But then she had a follow up video. Do you want to
She
kind of talk about
did.
what the follow up video was about?
Well, so the follow-up video was, again, she engages with her fans. So
Yeah.
the follow-up video was to tell her fans that the video is no longer on her page because her lawyer
Yeah.
asked her to take it down because you're not able to, like, I guess, speak against a company like that, like use your influence against a company.
Yeah. I don't know what was. I don't
Like
know
the
what was
legal
going on. Yeah, I don't know
ramifications.
what was the
I
legal
guess they didn't
ramifications.
want to put her at risk of being sued.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when they have to, go in. So she said that her and the lawyer were still going to, like, pursue it, handle everything,
Yeah.
but she is still currently locked out of everything. She
Hmm.
did not expand on whatever ensued between her and the ex manager and how it got there. But this kind of goes to show you that you have to be careful where your guidance comes from,
Yeah.
because the question I have is, how were they able to lock you out of, like, your YouTube account, like, do you not have access to it? Were they able to
Yeah.
change the passwords
See,
on
it
you?
sounds like they had so in a lot of these accounts you can give people like a backdoor way to do your content. Like
Okay.
YouTube is good. I can make somebody like a not an ambassador, but like a contributor to the YouTube, so you can give them different tasks. Like so
Okay.
they might be able to upload, they might be able to edit, but they might not be able to see the finances.
Okay.
Or they can't turn the monetization off. So like YouTube
Or they shouldn't be
has
able to change your password either, right?
exactly. So I don't even have to give you a password. You will have your own password to log into the
Your
platform.
portion of it.
But it sounds like she gave them the OG, like the real password.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that is a big issue because now they can go in and lock you out, switch to email, and do all of this. Yeah, you can get legal representations involved. You call Google, you call Meta, you call Twitch and all these other people, and that's going to take weeks or sometimes weeks or months to get involved, depending on the level of relationship your legal team has with their legal team, whatever. But my first reaction is, why does somebody has that much power
Yeah.
over, especially, okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, she don't own 100% of Remedy.
Okay.
Let's say she owned 40%,
Mhm.
and the other investors in group got 60%. So they could kick her out of that. Why do they have access to your personal accounts?
Yeah.
Why do they have access to your Instagram and your Twitch? That should be separate from your Remedy brand anyway.
Mhm.
But she said business manager. So
Right.
this business manager could have been somebody that has access to all of her stuff that quote unquote manages her business. And remember, we was talking offline, man. That's a real slippery slope
It
with these
is.
business managers, these attorneys, these accountants. You give them too much access. You got to spoon feed lawyers, accountants, managers. You spoon feed them. You do not give them power of attorney to act on your behalf for any and everything, because they can rip you off, take your money, take your bank, spend your money. It's kind of like your wife or your husband. Like, if you and your husband have an account together,
Mhm.
your husband can literally go drain your account.
Yeah. That's true.
And so that your husband has power of attorney over you. That's the point of marriage.
Mhm.
A lot of business managers and lawyers and accountants, they be requiring power of attorney or just kind of 100% autonomy
Yeah.
over your operations, and that's not good. I think Ari has too much clout. She has too much to lose, but maybe she just didn't know that because she's not a good business person. She's a good personality, but maybe she just didn't know that, and now she knows. She learned, so the next time she hire, she'll be able to make a better decision. But this is what it's sounding like. She gave somebody too much autonomy, and not legal power of attorney, but
Right,
basically
right.
power of attorney over your accounts and your
Yeah.
receivables, and it's not looking good.
And here's the thing. Yes, she said she contact lawyers, but filing motions take time.
Yeah, it
So it's
costs
like,
money.
how long is she going and then it's an expensive lesson to learn, right? Because you have to get a lawyer, you have to pay them for their time. And then how long are you going to be locked out of your accounts?
Yeah,
Cuz she makes money like what how much money does she lose not having access to her
correct.
Shopify, to her Twitch, to her YouTube?
Yes, and then you just kind of made me think of something. So a lot of times, if somebody steals $100,000 from you, okay, that makes sense to go to court. That's a lot of money.
Mhm.
But sometimes, depending on how much your lawyer is charging you, it don't make sense.
Yeah.
And when you say that, some people be like, "That sound crazy." How, like, if your lawyer is charging you $1,500 an hour, and that is not a crazy number, because
That
like these
happens.
lawyers, these law firms, these big law firms, they are charging you an arm and a leg, and they're charging you because of who you are and your
Yes.
brand and all your
They'll
notoriety.
yes, they'll
They
charge Ari fifteen hundred
they
dollars.
charging
Mhm.
you $1,000, $1,500 an hour. So let's say the business manager go steals 30 grand.
Mhm.
You better off taking that L. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
you better off taking that L, like you said, get your accounts back, and that's an expensive lesson, because going
Yes.
after that person for 30 grand, like,
Unless they're able to pay your lawyer fees. Some people add that. But if they're not able to
that's
do
not,
that,
lawyer fees are not
yeah.
guaranteed in business, and that's why, and it's like that on purpose. So the little guy who don't have unlimited money,
Yeah.
they
It's not
don't.
on the hook for
If everybody that did you wrong had to pay your lawyer fees, it'll be too many lawsuits. Everybody will be suing for everything,
mm,
and that's why it's set up. It's a big risk, because you don't necessarily get your attorney's fees back.
yeah.
So it got to be worth it to go to federal court, or sometimes you just got to take the L, and you got to take that. You got to take that L. I told you I wouldn't give nobody no amount of money that I don't feel comfortable with going to zero.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not giving nobody no amount of money I don't feel comfortable with going to zero.
That's true.
And I'll give a company, I'll give a big company, Apple, Google, one of these big companies, because
Mhm.
a lawyer will love to sue them.
Yeah.
A lawyer, when they don't want to sue no small business, you ain't got nothing. You might have a couple $100,000. That ain't no real money to no lawyer that's charging 2,000 an hour.
Well, do you think it's worth it for Ari to get a lawyer?
Of course, she probably already had a lawyer on retainer, but again, like I said, depending on the amount of money that the business managers steal from you,
I was going to say. And then the
it
other
don't make.
part of it is the amount of money that is being taken from her is intangible because I guess she'll have to prove that, like, I
Yes, you
make
got to
this
go to
amount,
court.
yeah, I make this amount of money, and me not having access to those accounts for these amount of days cost me at least, because nobody, it could be more, but at least it cost me, like, I don't know, call it $25,000.
It could be you got to go to court, and then you file a lawsuit right now. You might be in court in 2028.
Yeah.
So now you got to pay lawyer fees for 2 years. A lot of times it don't be worth it. So,
But she gotta get her accounts back somehow.
well, now getting the accounts back is different than getting the money that somebody finessed you for.
Yeah.
So let's say the person took to Shopify, and let's say Ari made 15,000 that the
Hmm.
last few days or whatever, which is very reasonable. She took the 15,000, shipped it off to a different bank account, blocked her out all the accounts. Ari probably would be better off, getting the lawyers involved, getting the accounts back,
Yeah.
letting her run off with that little 15, 20,000. You learned a tough lesson
Oh, I
and
see what
move
you're
on.
saying. Don't drag it out into court as
Dragging it
long.
out in court because it's the same money.
It's going to be faster to get your accounts back because you can prove that they're yours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's your likeness, image,
Yeah, all of
whatever.
that.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
easier to get your YouTube because you can get your YouTube back from just YouTube.
I was about to say, you could just, you really, do you need to involve the
I
lawyers?
mean,
It's faster that way.
sometimes, yeah,
It's
because
faster that way. It
these
is faster
companies
that
they
way.
don't
They
respect.
don't got no customer
They ain't
service.
got no customer service. They only respect lawyers because lawyers they getting billed by the hour.
Yeah.
And when your lawyer reach out to their lawyer, now they're like, oh my God, I'm sorry, but when you reach out as just a concerned consumer, it don't work. Thank you guys for watching. In order to continue to support independent journalism, I need you to subscribe to our page below. And also, if you want the full podcast and more exclusive content, make sure you subscribe to the Patreon. Link is in the description.